Next up, Sarah Vann and her team from Camp Moore, another one of these amazing summer camps for kids who stutter. Sarah, tell us about Camp Moore.
Thank you, Tom. So first, I'm going to invite all of my friends that are here to turn their cameras on to join me. I'll introduce myself while they're all doing that. So I'm Sarah Vann. I am a speech language pathologist with a special interest and passion for stuttering. I have a son who stutters and a husband who stutters. I started Camp Moore in 2016 as my graduate student special project when I was graduating from Portland State University with my co-founder, Kristen Mangan, who couldn't make it today. And then I'm current director. And so we're going into our, I believe, 8th summer camp this summer. And super excited. But before I get into it, I want to invite all my friends to invite themselves to tell you all who they are and their relation to camp. We'll do popcorn style. Lily, I saw your camera's on, so I'll let you go first and then popcorn it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lily Gilmore. I am a person who stutters and also a speech pathology graduate student at Portland State University. I had the privilege of being a camper at Camp Moore in 2017, and it's a second year of existence. And last summer was also a graduate student counselor at Camp Moore, which I'll talk more about.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jillian Lashna, and I am a person who stutters as well, and I attended camp last year for the first time and really fell in love with it.
I'm Ian Smith. I'm a freshman at Oregon State. I'm also a person who stutters. I've been to camp 2 or 3 times now.
So my name is Glenn Wadebright. I'm a person who stutters, a speech language pathologist. And I guess my title is staff member, senior staff member, spiritual leader, nature guru at Camp Moore, where I have been with Sarah since 2016, since we began. And I'll talk more about the experience. Suffice it to say, it's probably at the top of the experiences I've had as a speech language pathologist in my 45-year career. Amazing place.
Thank you. I see a couple of you, Glenn and Jillian, your internet's a little bit unstable, but hopefully you'll still be here. Okay, so share my screen really quick just to show you all my website. I started a whole PowerPoint presentation, and then I was just like, why am I doing this when I have all the pictures and everything already on the website? So for those of you who don't know, Camp Moore, we take place in Rockaway Beach, Oregon. It's beautiful Pacific Coast, West Coast experience. But we're more than just a camp. We do these social meetups throughout the year for our kids and teens. We go to basketball games, baseball games, we do craft nights, we go to the zoo, we do Halloween parties, we go bowling, we just have fun. It's a social support group just so we can continue the community and connection that we build at camp. We do have campers come from all over. Mostly it's Pacific Northwest, but we've had a sprinkling of campers from other places as well. And then, so we have camp. We have these big community events that we try to do once a year where the whole community is invited. And this is for all people who stutter, their friends, families, allies, therapists, students, colleagues, just neighbors, anybody. It's just to bring the whole stuttering community together and increase awareness and empower everybody to know that stuttering is more than okay. So last year when we did this for StutterFest, we kind of talked about this concept of non-therapy therapy, which, yes, we are primarily speech therapists who are on staff. And yes, our counselors are grad students, soon to be speech language pathologists. But our approach, we don't teach fluency tools. It's a unique experience for these counselors who are there for a graduate student practicum. And so the whole basis of our program is basically confidence, community, connection, and obviously more communication. And right now, today, we wanted to focus a little bit more into camp. And so I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to have Lily take it away on how confidence plays a role with what she's doing.
Hi again. I don't have anything to share, so it's just gonna be me. But so I introduced myself a little bit. I had the privilege of being a camper at Camp Moore in 2017, and I wanted to just talk a little bit about my journey there. I received speech therapy services from Glenn Waybright for years as a child, and he was the one that kind of connected me first to the National Stuttering Association's Portland chapter, and then I found the support group for kids that's now known as Camp Moore Meetups. And so I was very privileged. I had the rare opportunity of being surrounded by a stuttering community pretty young in life. I don't remember a lot of time before I knew other people who stutter, which I think played an enormous role in the confidence that I have now. So in 2017, I had the ability to go to Camp Moore, and what I remember most about it was obviously hanging out with all my stuttering friends that I got to see throughout the year as well with the support group, but also the affirmations that I received. And now as a graduate student counselor last year in 2023, I had the opportunity to give those affirmations to the campers. It's one of the big parts about I think one of the big confidence building aspects of Camp Moore is telling each other and hearing that your communication is important, that people will wait for you, that you're not taking too much time, that what you have to say is important or funny, or you tell great stories. I think that was something that both impacted me as a camper and gave me confidence. And then I was also able to do that for other campers, I hope, last summer. And sorry, I'm getting a little, so kind of leading into my research project I'm a grad student at Portland State University, and my master's project at PSU is all about how being a grad student counselor at Camp Moore can increase confidence in working with people who stutter. So decades of research have shown the speech pathology community that stuttering is the area of practice that most speech language pathologists feel the least comfortable diagnosing, evaluating, and treating. And obviously that's a big issue, right? There's a lot, there's not a ton of us who stutter, but there's a lot of us who stutter who are looking for services. And I'm sure many of you can think of a time where you met with a speech therapist and who clearly didn't know enough about stuttering and who gave you techniques or tips that didn't help you in any way. And so researchers, including now myself and other people on my master's project team, like Sarah and Kristen Mangan and Dr. Megan McGill and Glenn, and Bethany Larada, who I don't think is here either, but who is a wonderful SLP who also stutters, are working on a project kind of getting data from the graduate student counselors that were at Camp Moore last year to see if they experienced an increase of confidence in working with people who stutter. And we're not totally done with all of the data analysis, but the preliminary results show that absolutely, yes, working as a graduate student counselor at Camp Moore does increase confidence and preparedness in working with people who stutter, which, that's what we expected, because throughout the week, you're completely immersed in the stuttering world, and you're gaining more hands-on real life experience than you would in any other way. So kind of where we go from here is implementing more of these kind of clinical experiences for graduate students, so that once they are speech pathologists, they feel equipped with the knowledge and experiences to work with people who stutter. So it's an important area of practice, and the people who stutter have been underserved by speech pathologists for a long time. So kind of important message, or like the takeaway of everything I'm saying, I guess, is that I think community is one of the strongest pillars of confidence building. One of the most important things that people who stutter can do for their confidence is find others who stutter and be in community. And to all of you who have received speech language pathology services that were unhelpful or didn't meet the mark, we're working to figure that out and change that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Lily. Lily, I just wanted to show everybody full circle moment. Look at baby Lily. It's baby Lily. So yeah, little baby Lily, but now she's all grown up and she's gonna change the world. Anita, I saw a question that you asked. I did not answer it very well. Yes, we have, most of our staff are actually people who stutter. So myself and Kristen Mangan, we're the two co-founders. We don't, but my assistant director, Bethany, does. Matthew, I always mess up how to say his last name, Glenn Pereira does.
That's good enough. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Waybright does. Megan McGill, she does not stutter. She's a professor with a special interest and PhD surrounding stuttering. Does not, but she. And then this year we have Tiffany from Seattle joining us, and she does. And then usually, most years on our counselor staff, we normally do have a counselor or two who also stutters. So yeah, it's wonderful because the majority are people who stutter. And those of us who do not are the minority. So I wanted to open this up and let Jillian and Reed, and then Mr. Glenn, anytime you want to jump in as well. But I would really love to hear from Jillian and Reed and just share what you want to share.
When I came to camp last year, which was my first time, to be honest, I hadn't really expected it to be anything life-changing for me and anything really extravagant. And it really, just that one camp changed my whole view on what a stutter is and what it is for me tremendously. It was the very first time that I had been in an environment where fluency was not just the end goal, where it was completely okay and even and encouraged to just let yourself get blocked and stutter, and not always be pushed to make an effort to be fluent. And just knowing that I'm in an environment where not being fluent was completely okay really made me so much more comfortable not being fluent. And that was a feeling that prior to camp, I hadn't really ever had. And I've really noticed over the last year that I'm a lot more open about it, for one. And I no longer get the guilt that I used to get a lot from blocking and the consequences of having a stutter. I'm also right now studying my flight school to become an airline pilot. And when I began that, thank you, I had to take a medical exam just to make sure my vision was good enough. I didn't have any health issues that could be a problem. But what I didn't know when I took the exam was that speech was actually also going to be tested. And it was, I had gone for almost a year after camp, well, about 8 months, I believe. And I had gotten so comfortable having that. And then at that exam, my, health-wise and vision-wise, even though I have glasses, I passed. But they put my exam on hold because I stuttered. And it was after those 8 months of, having learned to be happy with it, and comfortable, it was really quite a hit. And it did set me back multiple steps, because now it really, again, it had become a thing that may keep me from doing what I wanted to in my life. And that day, I reached out to Camp Moore, and the support I got from Camp Moore, the group, was phenomenal. Matthew, he called me just hours after that exam and spent about 3 hours just talking me through it, helping me feel better. And Sarah has done all she can to support me and provide resources. And without that, I really don't know if I would hold the confidence I do now, that I know I will get past this, and that I know I will become a pilot even though this problem has come up. And having that support from people that know exactly what you struggle with and who are just as agitated by a problem like this coming up, but know exactly how to help you because they've likely been in problems like this. It's not only made me accept that I stutter and not wish that I didn't have it, because the stutter I've learned has made me part of who I am. And if I didn't have that, I don't think I would be nearly as much of the person I am today. And really that acceptance started the community and support that they have given me. So, yeah.
Thank you, Jillian. You're going to make an amazing pilot. You really will.
Oh, thank you.
Reed, you're going to help us implement another confidence boosting activity at camp this summer. Did you want to share?
Sure. So like very first camp was the first time I was like around a whole bunch of people that also stuttered. I was like it's like super cool seeing how even though I'm the one that stutters everyone else at the camp. Even today in my first year of college, I'm also saying that like no one cares that I have this stutter, and no one cares that I'm not able to like speak like everyone else. And something that goes in my head is that like I know I have stuttering, I have ADHD, I have stuff like that. Everyone else has their own set of problems. So like that's what's been helping me with like keeping my confidence up. So last year was my last year at camp. I had a whole bunch of times I have lifelong memories and friends. And what's actually super cool about that is that like me as a person, I'm super positive about everything. I make people like group up as a whole and just like help everyone out. If that makes any sense. So like I lost my train of thought. So like because I naturally have those talents, a whole bunch of people gravitated towards me, and they looked up to me. And of course, I was the oldest campers there. So like I had a whole bunch of stuff outside of camp, going on looking for jobs, applying for housing, applying for classes and stuff like that. Except like, and I was at camp, like I did not, I had those thoughts go out. I was in the moment for the camp. So there goes my ADHD.
You're okay.
So the like camp hasn't have this yet, but when the camp Half and I we're thinking of starting like a leadership program for a whole bunch of is it like one bring everyone together and hope it works out, but
it will. Can I give a little more info for that, Reed? So Reed last year was such a mentor for all of our younger campers. They just gravitated to him and a few others of our older campers. We affectionately named them all the elders. And the elders took on such a leadership role of mentoring these younger campers. And it was just this beautiful relationship that happened. And so Reed and one of my other staff members, Matthew, we call him the camp slur because he has the energy of a camper. And he's like a grown-up camper, basically. Everyone adores him. The two of them came up with this idea to start this leadership program to make it an official thing within camp to boost the confidence of the elders who will be the leaders to be able to work with the youngers and mentor and give them some of that leadership skills. Yeah. Mr. Waybright, what would you like to add?
Well, I was thinking about if I'm going to remain on the confidence theme. There's a couple of stories, real quick stories that pop into my head. For quite a few of the years, I've been assigned to traffic patrol, traffic detail when the parents, oftentimes driving from the Portland area to the coast, come on Sunday to drop off their kids. And they come driving up and I help them find a place to park. And the camper and the family gets out of the car and walks to the big meadow where the graduate students and the staff have set up registration, welcoming tables. And I am always struck by the posture, especially the brand new campers who have never been there before. The posture is one of great reluctance as they sort of make their way, I guess, kind of unwillingly toward registration. And beyond that are the other campers who have already come. And they sign in and answer some questions. And then they walk over to the other campers who have been there before. And you can watch, I see this every single year, you can watch the shoulders come down and relax. And you can watch and hear the confidence increase. Because it's very obvious that they are in an area where stuttering is the norm. Quickly, they realize that there's no necessity to hide because everybody's stuttering. And the other story is one of our campers is also a speech language pathologist. And so one of our counselors a few years ago, also a speech language pathologist and a person who stutters, was driving back home to Southern Oregon from the coast. And she stopped at a hamburger place to get something to eat. And she walked in the door and there was something about the atmosphere in the restaurant that was hard to pin down. And she ordered. And then she realized that nobody in the room was stuttering. And it was the first time in a week that she had been away from the room where everybody was stuttering. Stuttering was okay. I think the graduate students I know they picked that up very quickly. I know it. I've taught the stuttering class at Portland State University in Portland, the graduate program, for 10 years. And what we attempt to do is create what we call stutter-friendly speech language pathologists, which is knowing and being comfortable around people who stutter without trying to fix the stuttering without trying to make it go away, because, you know, we can't make it go away. To see them embrace that lived experience, and then to see them immersed in that for one whole week. There's huge changes that happen. Huge changes. Somehow, if we could work that into every graduate program across the country, across the world, we would have a lot more success in creating stutter-friendly, not stutter changers, but stutter-friendly speech-language pathologists. That's it.
Thank you. We have a couple minutes left. I'm going to share a video really quick. This is a video. There's really not much talking, but it just kind of gives the overall vibe of camp. It's just like a couple minutes long. And then if anyone has questions, cool. But if that sounds good, I'll go ahead and share that video. I'll play it, and then someone let me know if you do not see or hear it. Here we go. This was from camp this was our camp right before COVID. This year, we're going to be creating another video, and this year's it will be with talking. But anyway, that's not what I meant to show.
You're around, Alice.
Can I pet him?
Sure.
Nice.
Aww.
I love your ears.
Okay, so what I want you to do, when you go to get on, I want you to just stick your foot in the stirrup, reach up and grab the saddle horn, get right up close like you're going to hug her. Just like you're going to hug your mama, but you got your foot in the stirrup. You make a little hop on your left or your right foot, and you hop up, and just sit into the saddle.
Video or a picture?
Doesn't matter.
Sorry, it was still going on my end. So that's camp. We end the program with this most magical and amazing, breathtaking, historic steam engine ride along the coast. And sorry, I'm like crying just think about it. And then it's the first time that our kiddos, Reed, you were in that video. I saw little baby Reed, that our campers get a taste of, back to the real world and using their confidence that they've increased while at camp. And, maybe that means ordering the flavor of ice cream they really wanted versus vanilla because it's easier to say for them. Anyway, that's all I've got. Kunal, I see your hand is raised.
Yeah. One question I have, is there one activity? Again, I know there's so many meaningful activities, but is there one kind of activity that happens at camp that you're like, oh, this is the game changer for them that you see every year that is just whatever that means, this is the activity we do that really helps their growth more than anything else, or really improves their confidence. Is there anything particular that kind of comes to mind?
That's a really great question. I think Jillian and Reed could probably maybe answer that better. From my observation, for me, it's honestly just being around everybody who stutters. That's a huge thing. Having also the adults who stutter that understands, but maybe the two of you might have one thing that did it for you.
I mean, for me, it was really just that there was no push to be fluent. And you can't really pinpoint that to just obviously one activity that we did, because that was just the vibe of camp. But I know overall just having that be completely okay and even encouraged to always be fluent really helped me a lot.